Welcome back to The Heat. We're talking about the World Cup football tournament in Brazil. Joining us from Rio de Janeiro is Sven Goldmann. He is reporting on the World Cup for the German newspaper, the Tagesspiegel. And from New York, Alfonso Mondelo. He is Technical Director, Player Programs for Major League Soccer. That's the big soccer league here in the United States. Gentlemen, welcome to both of you to the show. Sven, let me start with you. We're hearing from football fans, from analysts, from commentators, from writers like yourself that this has been, so far, one of the best World Cups. What's your assessment?
I think so. There have been some rumors right in front of the World Cup that things don't get well, but everything's perfect until now. Sports is fantastic, the football, soccer is fantastic, and I think the best is still up to come.
Alfonso, what is your take on what has happened so far in Brazil during this tournament, especially for Team USA, which has generated so much interest here in the United States, just captured the imagination of so many people, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people across the country?
Well, I think it has been, I agree with Sven, it has been a very good tournament up to now, with the best still to come. But for the U.S., it was fantastic to be able to get out of the group stage. It has certainly captured the attention and the imagination of the American public. We have seen an unprecedented numbers of people following the game, whether it be through viewing parties, whether it have been getting together in stadiums. The TV ratings and the internet ratings have gone through the roof. It's something that's broken all kinds of records. So I think that for us here in the United States, we have to say that it has been a huge success.
Right, Sven, the tournament so far has thrown up quite a few surprises. I mean, who would have believed that Spain, Italy, out of the tournament, the United States was hoping to make it at least to the Final Four. We have Brazil struggling a bit on the field. What do you make of what's happened in the tournament on the playing field so far?
What's still up to come? I think we're going to see a great game tomorrow. It's France against Germany. I'm not sure who's going to win because the German team might be favourite, but the French played excellent in the first round, and especially at the last round against Nigeria. But the Germans still can improve. But what's most important for the tournament is how Brazil is going to do tomorrow in where they're going to play in. I'm not sure, in Fortaleza. Because if the Brazilian team doesn't make it to the semi-final, it might change the atmosphere. It's fantastic until now. You should walk along Copacabana. You see celebrating people from all over the world, especially from Brazil. And if the Brazilians won't make it one more round, I'm quite afraid that might change.
Alfonso, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a lot of things up in the air. I do agree that the matchup between France and Germany right now on paper seems to be a very attractive one. The French team has been improving with every match. The Germans have spurted along in the last couple of matches, but you can never count Germany out. They usually get better as the tournament goes on. Colombia has been, to me, a big surprise in the tournament, and it wouldn't shock me to see them beat the Brazilians. I think that would be a big shock for the Brazilians and for the World Cup, but I think Colombia deserves it with their play. On the other side, I think that Costa Rica has clearly been another one of the big surprises of the tournament. That game against Holland could be a surprise that a team from CONCACAF advances to the semifinals. And Argentina, I have to give them a slight favorite in their matchup and predict that the Argentinians will go all the way through to the final.
Okay, Sven, when we're listening to those teams being mentioned there, there's a British soccer writer, one of your colleagues, who is framing this, what's left of the tournament, as Europe against Latin America. And if we look at it, there are 4 European teams and there are 4 Latin American teams. What do you make of the way the cards have fallen in that respect?
I think it's a great battle between Europe and Latin America. The battle is open. It wasn't open the last World Cups. In Germany, there wasn't a single team in the semi-final, and last year, 4 years ago in South Africa, there was just one, Uruguay. I think there's a big chance for Brazil because Colombia hasn't had a real challenge until now, and the Brazilians are used to make challenges, to stand them. I'm not sure if Colombia can take that. I agree with Alfonso that Argentina until now hasn't played that well. They depend too much on Messi, and if you get Messi out of the game, there's no more Argentina left. I'm dying to see what Costa Rica is able to do against the Netherlands, because they don't have to lose anything. They can play with their hearts. They will bring their heart on the pitch. And I'm dying to see that match. If Costa Rica would make it to the semi-final, that would be the biggest surprise in soccer World Cups, yeah, I think, for the last 20 years.
Also a big surprise for you, Alfonso, if they get there?
Yeah, you would have to be. This is a country that has come out of nowhere and wasn't even top in CONCACAF when they qualified. But in this World Cup, they certainly have been unbelievable, with a great goalkeeper in Keylor Navas that has kept them in games. So I agree with Sven. There's nothing to lose for Costa Rica and a lot to gain.
Alfonso, one other question, and you heard Sven there mention the performance by Brazil and by Argentina as well. Have these two teams, I mean, these are world soccer powers, have they lived up to expectations in this tournament?
I would have to say not. I think that they've both been very dependent on one individual, Neymar in Brazil and Messi in Argentina. But I think that this is I've been watching the World Cup since 1974, and this is probably the least attractive Brazilian team that I've seen. There is no flow, no rhythm to their game as there has been in other years. They are winning the games, they're managing to win it, scraping by, but certainly none of that jogo bonito that the Brazilians are as used to. Likewise with Argentina. This reminds me very much of the Argentina of '86 with Maradona and 10 other players. And so far, Maradona was able to carry the team on his back. Messi is doing the same thing. But I think if they're to go further, a couple of other players need to step up a little bit for Argentina as well.
Right, Sven, isn't that the case? I mean, when we look at Brazil, there have been moments, and they've lasted only a few seconds, where we see absolute brilliance, the magic of Brazil, but as a team, they haven't really struck fire, have they?
I think Alfonso's right. It's not a brilliant Brazilian team, definitely not. But they show something I haven't seen from them the last 8 years. They got spirit. They were fighting against Chile. That was unbelievable. That was outstanding. There's not the brilliance, but they are playing with their heart. They are a bit like Costa Rica. It sounds strange because Brazil is a great soccer nation, but it's true they depend too much on Neymar, and it's true besides him there are not so many players, but they are playing with spirit, and that's why I think they can make it.
Alfonso, when we look at individual players, you've already mentioned Messi plays for Argentina. I mean, how important is he to the Argentinian team as they go into this part of the tournament?
I think he's crucial. I think if as Messi goes, so does Argentina. And it is those moments of brilliance from Messi, whether it be scoring goals, setting up the teammates that have given Argentina the points, have gotten them this far. So I think if they are to continue, he has to be at the top of his game. Likewise with Neymar, and I think likewise in Colombia with James. James Rodriguez has been another one of the stars of this World Cup up to now, and I think he is the one that's going to have to carry this Colombian team. So all of these the teams that are there have one or two stars that need to come up and need to be big in order for their countries to advance.
All right, Sven, when you look at Germany, some big names in the German team there, but who've been the standout players for you? I mean, you've got Thomas Müller, who's been playing really well. You've got Lahm, who's been playing well. Klose, when he's come on, has played really well. Neuer in goal has been playing very well. But is there one single player that stands out in the German team?
I think the big advantage of Germany, if you compare them with Brazil and Colombia and Argentina, is that they don't depend on one person. Of course, Müller can score. He scored already 4 times, but Klose can score as well. Ozil can score. There was coming from the bench at the Algeria game. It was Schürrle, and he can score as well. It's a team. The thing is, if one of the stars, if Müller doesn't work or Ozil doesn't work, it can be another one. I don't see that person in Brazil. I don't see that person in Argentina. I really don't see that person, that star in the Colombia team. If Colombia, Rodriguez doesn't make it, there's nobody. If Messi fails at the Argentinian team, it doesn't work. And if Neymar can score, Brazil won't win. So that might be the big advantage for the German team and for the French as well, but one of them's got to leave.
Okay, we will continue our conversation, but we are going to take a break right now. We'll be back with more World Cup discussion. Stay with us, you're on The Heat.